Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 44 of Scion of the Dark House, a Gothic Horror 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons podcast. Because it is a horror podcast, there are some things that may come out to align for some people, such as talk about abuse and trauma, child endangerment, body horror, gore, blood, violence, a variety of things like that. So if there is something that comes up to align for you, please take a break. Your support means a lot to us, but so does your mental health. So last time on Scion of the Dark House, you guys had just met the Onion Knight Sir Garlac, who received a message from a pumpkin head, and it seems that the Great Pumpkin had been destroyed. You all went and had a small investigation, finding a piece of scrap and concluding that a person of some description, dressed as a Harlequin, was responsible. They escaped into another kingdom that you were able to find called the Boardlands, which is apparently an entire realm made around chess. You returned, giving a scrap of the fabric to the pumpkin people so that they can use it for their own investigations, and went to watch the ornithopters land from the Gnome King. Upon having them land, you made a deal exchanging 2 of the seeds you had obtained from the Great Pumpkin for a ride on one of the ornithopters, and made it to the castle of Gloriana. And upon landing, you have witnessed her come out of the doors of at least a building in her gigantic castle in all of her glory, surrounded by golden butterflies with hair made of sunlight and a fabulous golden crown. And now, what are you all going to do?
She's beautiful.
Can we just talk to her or something? And then you can hide in my bag.
No.
Okay.
She seems nice.
Yeah. I mean, I'm pretty sure it can fit in my bag.
Well, if we're not talking to her, what's the plan then, Lark? None of
Are
us
there
are
any-
particularly stealthy.
Are there any shrubs nearby that we could sneak through?
The place is actually enclosed by a wall, but there is a gate. It doesn't appear to have a portcullis or anything. It's just an opening near the back on the opposite side that you could probably just run out.
I think we still need a distraction just in case.
She's dealing with bureaucracy of her delivery of wish stones.
Yeah, at this point, you do see her kind of watching as one of the gnomes opens a crate, and she reaches down and pulls up a little tiny, what appears to be pebble made of this slightly glowing moonstone, and begins to inspect it.
Oh, okay. Well, she does look like she's already. Let's go.
Thanks for the lift, Bartleby. Blow him a kiss as I start slinking away with the group.
Yeah, so give me, everybody, a stealth check.
That was hot.
Okay.
Yeah.
Percy is a 17.
This is bad. This is very bad.
Uh-oh.
I rolled Larks first, and that's only gonna be an 8. Let's do.
I have an
Arthur.
18 and a +2 advantage, so I have 20. I'm invisible.
Arthur's
Visible.
stealth is a 22, of course it fucking is, and Jasmine's stealth is what is she? She gets +8. The cat got a fucking 10, Lark got an 8, and Arthur has 22.
You're the only one visible.
Yeah, you all begin to sneak along the ground, whereas Lark is flying. And it's very clear that you are just out and about, but it seems there's not enough of a distraction caused by other people. You do all manage to slip out into wherever this is, relatively unseen. You are in not necessarily another courtyard, but definitely in a garden of some kind. There are well-maintained bushes with various flowers of various types of which you have not seen in the material plane, nicely arranged into beds. There are statues everywhere of various fey-looking knights and elves and other fey beings that are placed around this large sort of open-air garden that you are in. And there doesn't appear to be anyone around. However, there are quite a lot of butterflies and bees, as well as the little tiny horse butterflies that are flying around.
Oh. Okay, we'll look for a blue rose.
Or a way to whatever main garden would have them in it. But yes, keep your eyes out and let's keep moving. Time is of the essence.
Can I just do locate object? Do I know how this thing looks like?
Well, I mean, it's a blue rose, so I would say that you can probably, with that assumption, kind of look around and use your magic to sense it. It's not something you need to be super familiar with. So I would say yes.
Cool, let's do locate object.
Mm-hmm.
It is a specific one though, right? So it's like...
Yeah, well, roll me a nature check, actually.
A 5 plus 3, so that's an 8.
Oh, well, perhaps in a reading that you did somewhere, just cursory glance through a book, you would know that roses don't, of every color that a rose can be, blue is not one of them. It is the only color that roses cannot naturally be.
Okay.
I mean, I don't think that matters here. I think if there is, I think a blue flower is quite within the realm of possibility of fairy magic.
True.
However, as you cast it, there is not a blue rose within 1,000 feet of you.
Jeez, it's not here, dude. It's not here, dudes.
Could just be further out of your range.
Yeah. Although I can keep my magic up for 10 minutes or concentration.
Yes,
Can I
keep your concentration on that, and we're going to we should keep looking. We should keep looking. Can Jasmine scent wherever the most flowers are, perhaps?
She can certainly give a smell if she could give a perception check. However, Arthur does say, I remember the hag said that it's not like just a flower, it's like a powerful flower. That's why they wanted it. So wouldn't it be like maybe closer to the castle?
or in there?
I mean, maybe, I don't know.
Oh joy, let's try stealing away in there. This is going to end so well.
I've never seen you so nervous.
I feel as though I've mentioned this before to all of you, but the Archfey are equivalent to our gods.
Well, she hasn't noticed us yet.
Yeah, and let's keep it that way. For Jazz's keen smell, that's not great. That's only going to be a 14, even with advantage.
She kind of sniffs the air a little bit and kind of
Jesus
gives
Christ.
a big sneeze.
You make me jump.
Sorry. And Arthur just goes, "There's a lot of flowers everywhere."
Oh, fine. Let's head towards the castle then. Or the bigger part of the castle. I don't know my way around here. I've never been here. This is a bad idea.
Or in the garden closer to the castle, we can go that way just so we don't have to cross paths. You know, how does the map look like? Do we have a map of this place?
No, you don't.
Okay.
And it is a big, sprawling castle. It doesn't seem to have a lot of very specific, easily identifiable structures from the outside. It is in two parts. There is a sort of wider, shorter version, I should say, building on one side, and then there is a bridge that connects it to another tall set of towers that are all connected with buildings, and there seems to be a difference in elevation, bringing the shortest one up closer to the top so the bridge can connect them. And there does seem to be pathways that lead through various gardens that lead up to this sort of short building, so to speak.
Let's just move closer.
Yep.
Let's try not to make any commotion.
Just don't. Let's try not to draw any attention to ourselves or be suspicious. We're sightseers right now, right? Just be a sightseer.
You can always hide under my cloak, man, if if someone comes out.
You begin to meander your way through the various gardens that are here, and they are magical. You pass by a bed of flowers that they look kind of like lilies, but they're blue, and they have these golden sprigs that come out. And as you walk by, they raise up and they almost begin to dance back and forth, and they make trumpet sounds, making a very beautiful sort of song as you pass by them. There's others that kind of shrink away a little bit. There's roses with human faces in the center of them, but they appear to be sleeping. You also pass by various grottos and statuaries and things of that nature. You even pass by what appears to be the stables, where there are beautiful white horses with golden hair, golden manes, golden tail, and beautiful butterfly wings with 1,000 colors sparkling as they seem to trot back and forth in this pen that they have. And you finally get closer to the castle. It does take you a while, probably about maybe an hour of walking through all of these gardens. You do make it to a place where the gardens start to become walled off. There are various buildings that begin to surround them, and they become more and more like courtyards as you begin to pass through them. The first one that you come into has quite a few beds of flowers, and in the center there is what appears to be a sort of bee box, a sort of apiary box, and this garden is filled with bees. And sitting on top of this gigantic box is a gigantic bee wearing a crown. And it seems to just be watching and just turning around as the bees do their little aerial dances through this garden.
That's cute.
And at no point during our walk did Rerek's locate object give us a signal.
No, not really, no.
Okay. Well, I'm kind of lost, guys. What do you think?
Don't piss off the queen bee, I suppose. I don't know. Let's just try to avoid her as best we can.
Okay.
We can
Go
wave
past
that,
her?
right?
Oh,
What?
you were muted.
I was muted. Wait, doesn't I feel like in a past history check, Lark knew that Gloriana's BFFs with a literal like Fae thing that goes by the Bee Queen or whatever, right?
That was the Bear King.
Oh, the Bear King.
It's probably the other side of the castle.
Oh god, if he's here. Ugh. I will say, like, I'm gonna try to hide in Rerek's cloak at this point.
Which is like a crop top. It's like a crop. But go ahead.
Pull your hood up. It'll be fine. I'll just you'll have a hunchback, whatever.
Bloop. Okay, let's go. Let's keep going, guys.
So if you would like to make a stealth check, you may.
Jeez. That's so bad. Got a 5.
Oof.
So you got an 18.
Arthur got a 15. Jasmine got, let me double check here. Jasmine got a, what's her stealth mod? It's +8. Jasmine got a 19. And Lark got a 12.
So as you guys make your way through this courtyard filled with bees, the bees do notice you, but since you aren't actively pissing them off, it seems that they are just continuing to go about their daily work. You manage to weave your way around the back of this sort of box as this queen bee turns around, and you manage to make it to the other side completely unnoticed. And you pass out into another garden, just filled with red roses, nothing else.
Oh, look, Rosie, they're kind of like you.
Are they alive? Are they like moving?
And of course, Rosie kind of runs up to one of them and kind of reaches out and like almost waving to it and goes, "Hi, hi, hello, hi." It doesn't respond. And she Rosie kind of looks around, is like, "Hello?"
Oh, maybe they're not quite like you, darling. They're not as special. Now, come back here.
Okay.
Yes.
And she comes back.
Oh, poor dear. Well, I mean, I thought if it was a magical garden, perhaps they'd be magical roses, but it just means you're more special than the rest. Shame that none of these are blue.
My senses are not tingling still.
Through another garden, then, I suppose. We've no better way than to... I've no better plan than for us to keep getting a little bit closer and seeing if we can stumble across it until Rerek's magic senses start tingling.
Yeah.
Oh, I will say, since it took you quite a while to get up here, you would have had to cast it again at some point, because locate object, I believe, only lasts 10 minutes, and it took you about an hour to get up here.
Well, I had it on my concentration.
Yeah, but you can only concentrate on it for its duration. So about 10 minutes.
Oh, okay.
So if you have the ability to cast it again, you can cast it again at this point.
One second. I can. It's just eating up my spell slots.
I mean, you could ritual cast it.
Can I?
It'll just
No.
follow. Or no, wait, oh, it's not a ritual spell.
Locate animals or plants is a ritual spell, but locate object is not.
It is an object, though.
It's
Or it
also
is
a plant.
Okay.
Well, it can be both at the same time.
But
Yeah.
locate animals and plant is a different spell. So,
And I believe it's only available to druids. So,
and I ain't one.
yeah. So I'm assuming are you casting it?
Yeah, I'm casting it again.
Okay. At first, as you cast it, there doesn't seem to be anything. But as you get about halfway across the garden, you get a single blip.
Bloop, bloop, bloop,
It
bloop,
is
bloop, bloop,
up
bloop, bloop.
It is up in one of the towers that requires you to cross the bridge that is up near the very top of the castle.
Okay, boys. It's right up there. We have to cross the bridge. Unless you want to just fly over there, Lark, and grab it.
How far away is it from us?
At least
At
1,000 feet.
At least 1,000 feet, yeah. It was
But
on the
it's
very, very edge of the spell, so it's definitely 1,000 feet. There's probably more outside of the range, but
Yeah.
definitely
We can
at
we
least
can
1,000
walk
feet.
we can walk closer and find out exactly where it is.
Let's do that. I'm not feeling particularly confident in just flying willy-nilly in a place like this.
Okay. Let's walk a little further.
So you make it into the next garden. And this one is near the base of one of the towers on the shorter castle building. It is filled with various ponds, with wooden docks almost, zigzagging between various islands. There are huge lily pads and lotus flowers. There are motes of light that drift up from the water, almost like will-o'-the-wisps, but they don't seem to be violent in any way. There is also an increased number of frogs. And on a lily pad across the way is sitting a very large frog with a crown on its head.
A lot of regal animals in this place.
Oh, didn't we meet frog people?
Not
Yes.
here.
I doubt that these are related to Queen Croak at all.
So are we sneaking by the frog king queen?
None of them has, like, the bee queen wasn't hostile at all. Maybe as long as we don't do
She
anything
notice
stupid.
us.
Yeah, the Bee Queen didn't notice us, and if they notice us, what if they notify someone else? That's my concern.
Oh, okay. Let's do it.
Rolling stealth checks again.
Yep. Roll stealth checks.
That is a 13. Oh, I feel so much better after that tea.
She has a 15.
Lark got an 18.
Ooh.
Jasmine got a 22, and Arthur got a dirty 20. Because those two, Arthur can roll a 9 and still get a dirty 20.
Yeah, it's insane.
Because that's all he cares about is stealth.
Yeah. So you manage to make your way occasionally aboard creeks a little bit, but the ribbiting of frogs everywhere seems to cover it up. You pass by, and the route you have to take does take you very close to this large frog. That as it sits on its lily pad, it is kind of snoozing a bit. And one eye opens and seems to look off in another direction. Not at you, but off in another direction before its eye closes. And you manage to sneak by the strange crowned frog. And off to what appears to be an edge, where the water pours over the edge down into clouds. But there is a door nearby that seems to go into the actual castle proper.
Do we have any other choice?
Shall we?
Do I know exactly where it is now?
Yeah, it is definitely up at that
Right on
tall
top of
tower.
us.
Not on top of you. You are on the other side of the sort of chasm that the bridge spans.
Mhm.
So you would have to go into this building, up to the bridge, across the bridge, and you should be either close to or in the place where these blue roses are kept.
Okay. So I tell them that. It's over there.
All right, let's get going then.
Has it been 10 minutes?
No, it has not,
Okay.
because you cast it in the rose garden. So it's probably been maybe 5 minutes.
Oh, okay.
I don't think it would have taken you very long to pass through the little frog's garden.
Yeah. We need to move fast, my dudes.
So yeah, as you enter this place, it seems to be a kitchen of sorts. And this kitchen is entirely alive. There are pots that are on the stove that are boiling. There are pots and pans full of things that are being mixed all by themselves, as if invisible hands were doing all of the work. There is dough that is being kneaded on the table. There are various soups and stews and salads and meats that are being prepared, but you don't see any servants whatsoever. Everything is just moving on its own.
Well, that looks convenient.
Yeah, I'll do my best to tiptoe and not touch any floating plates and move through the kitchen.
Yeah, I'll float through the same way. Do my best to be sneaky snake.
Yup.
Because yet again, we're in a place where Lark's like, if anybody notices me, I could just be vaporized in a thought.
Let's keep going.
Now you do pass through the kitchen and up a spiral staircase into what appears to be probably a ballroom. It has a large red carpet, various banners hang down from the ceiling, very tall windows let in tons of sunlight. The floor is beautifully shiny, but it is not lit from the interior. The only light is the sunlight coming through the windows, which, while it is a lot, it still leaves places of shadow. And there are various doors. Your spell is still up. It's about to go down, but you do know that where you've exited, one of the doors to your left, which are very close, will lead you to the bridge that will then lead you to these roses, which more of them have popped up on your radar as you've been moving. And it's about that point that your spell goes down.
Okay, well, either I can use one more spell slot or we can go to one of those doors. Because before my spell ran out, it's right over there on the left.
Well, we just have to open them and see which one leads to the bridge, right?
You have like a perception check to hear before we open a door if there's like people outside of it or something.
Sure, you certainly can.
Is a 23.
There doesn't sound like there's anyone behind any of the doors. It appears that this section of the castle is entirely quiet.
Okay. Sounds like nothing's behind either of them. So, door number 1.
Can we just open them all one by one and peek through them?
Yeah, that's what I'm doing.
So you do open the door, and this indeed leads to a bridge. It is a covered bridge made out of stone, kind of similar to something that may be in that you may have seen in various architecture in Gothia, except of course bright and sunshiny, and it's not very wide, but it seems as you kind of look out the other side that this bridge is a multi-level bridge. There is probably a wider walkway directly above this one, and these are little ones that go underneath of it, but it still leads to the same tower. And the coast seems entirely clear.
Well, we shouldn't dally, darlings.
Yeah, let's hurry. Let's hurry up.
All right, so as you cross the bridge, I would like everyone to make a perception check.
21.
Would it be something that Jasmine's smell
16.
can help with, or no?
I would say yes.
Okay, so far Lark got a 10, Jasmine got a dirty 20, and Arthur, let me check his modifier for him. Perception. He got a 19.
Got a 16.
So as you walk out onto this bridge, you get about halfway across when Jasmine makes kind of a little growl, and Arthur just kind of looks up and says, "She says she smells Samantha." At that point, out of the corner of your eye, across the way on the other bridge, a woman in a green cloak appears from behind the door, opens the door, and walks out, accompanied by a very large bee.
Oh, God.
Oh,
Not
shit.
like a little bit different than the bee in the garden above, but definitely a bee. And I need everyone to make a stealth check.
Lark got a nat 20. I'll roll the other two, but thank fuck.
Percy has a 17.
16.
Well, shit. Jasmine got a 9, and Arthur got a 30.
Good
I still-
Lord.
19 plus 11.
I still have a 20.
Give it to the cat.
I still have 120 left. Should I give it to her?
Yeah, you can. You would be out of portents for the day, but
Yeah.
you could.
So I was like, okay.
Yeah. So you all suddenly duck down and stay low. Jasmine does kind of peek her head up and make a little growl, but Arthur just puts a hand on her head and pushes her down a little bit, seeming to hide her. Samantha speaks to the bee in Sylvan. You do, Lark, manage to hear. You just hear, "The Bear King has sent the package, right?" "Yes, he has sent it off. It should be arriving soon." "Good. Just make sure it doesn't get intercepted by any of our enemies, so to speak." Right. I'll make sure I will relay that." "Good. I have other business to attend to." And then slam, there's the slam of the door. But yeah, that was definitely Samantha.
So they left, right? We can assume
Yes,
that. I'll just
they
whisper
are.
to everybody else and be like, well, apparently the Bear King is sending a package somewhere, and Samantha's being his little gopher with a bee fae.
Okay, do we care about that?
Okay, well, let's go. But let's keep that in mind. It might be something that would help us in the future.
Mhm.
Okay, across the bridge.
Yes, you manage to cross the bridge and you open the door on the other side. It appears to be a sort of throne room. You've come out on a balcony. It is a round room, and you've come out on the second level. There is a first level, and then there is the floor, and there's a level above you. The hallway here is dark. It has torches, it has sconces along the wall that burn a very low blue flame, probably magical, but it doesn't provide enough light as much as the giant beam of sunlight that's coming down the center of this tower. There are columns along the railing and arches. And as you look out, you see there is a sort of staircase that leads up to a very opulent looking throne that is currently empty. And surrounding it, growing up some of the columns even, are blue roses all over the place. But as you look down, there is a sort of landing. And on this landing, there is a very large looking silver knight and one black panther, a very familiar black panther-like creature that you fought before, that is pacing back and forth.
Oh my god.
Like with the ones we fought at the house?
No, the ones that you fought,
With a tentacles.
yeah,
Displacer.
it would,
Displacer
yes,
beasts.
a displacer beast.
Can you just mage hand a flower?
We just need one flower, right?
Yeah.
We only need one.
Can Arthur just stealthily do it?
At this point, I just kind of look at Arthur like, well, there they are.
Yeah.
I mean, they're probably protected, aren't they?
Can I do detect magics to see if there's like any magic, whatever type of magic it is that's around it?
Sure.
Jeez.
You can.
I'm running out of slats. Okay. Whoosh.
There is a bit of there's a lot of evocation and transmutation magic that waft off of these flowers.
Oh, so it's not like magic that's protecting it. It's the magic that's coming from it.
Yeah.
Cool.
But there doesn't seem to be a lot of other magic in this room.
Okay.
Well,
Wait. Do
the
we
flowers.
know? Do we know if we can cut them and it'll be okay to deliver still?
That how else do you propose we get them back, darling? We'll have to cut them or pluck them.
Okay. Who should do the plucking?
I mean, I think, not to sound like a dick here, I think Arthur should do it. This is sort of his bag.
He was the one sent on the actual task, to be fair. So he should at least take one. If at all possible, take more than one. Could be fun.
Right. Thanks. And you guys look around and you notice the closest rose is about a level down. Well, fine, I'll see if I can go get it. And he starts off low and sneaking with Jasmine as he goes to look for a staircase.
Should
But
we?
with him.
I feel like we should do distractions.
So
Maybe
there's
this
just
is
like a silver knight in a displacer. What's the knight doing?
The knight is standing there with its sword planted in the ground, and it occasionally kind of shifts as if there's a living being inside it. It's not just like an animated suit of armor. There seems to be a being inside of it as it shifts occasionally, but it seems to be keeping watch, as is this displacer beast.
cool. Okay, I'll pull out the bird thingy. Wait, can we, for that bird thingy, can we control where that noise comes from?
Yes, it's anywhere within
Yes.
60 feet. It's a point within 60 feet that you can see, I believe, is what we ruled it.
How far away from us is this like knight figure and this displacer beast?
Probably a little further than you think because it's down like 2 levels.
Oh, okay.
So you're probably not going to be able to just like lean over the balcony and hit a point on the floor. Or you might be able to. It just, the angling might be important.
Like 120
yeah.
feet?
Around that, probably.
Can I fly forward a little bit? And I'm gonna subtle spell a spell on this guy.
Sure.
I think I'll go after I'm gonna subtle spell enemies abound on the armored knight. Can I get an intelligence saving throw from it?
Does it stipulate like any, you cannot cast it on this creature or this type of creature or whatever in the spell?
The only thing it says, if a creature will automatically succeed if it is immune to being frightened.
If it is immune to being frightened.
Yep. That's the only like stipulation on enemies abound. So if it's immune to being frightened, the spell won't work.
All right. Well, it doesn't. All right. Intelligence save. It gets advantage though. I'm assuming a 14 does not pass.
A 14 does not pass. It needs to beat a 16. So, yeah, so I'm going to use a 3rd level spell slot to enemies abound the knight figure. And in case you guys didn't know what it does, since it lost the saving throw, it regards all creatures it can see as enemies until the spell ends. Each time it takes damage, it can repeat the saving throw, ending the effect on itself on a success. Whenever it chooses another creature as a target, it must choose the target at random from among the creatures it can see within the range of an attack spell or other ability it's using. If an enemy provokes an opportunity attack from the affected creature, that creature has to take the attack if it's able to. So pretty much it has to start fighting its friends.
Yep.
So Lark's just going to kind of like lean over our little looky-loo and just, I mean, he's subtle spelling it in case anyone has any ways to detect a spell going on. But I guess if Rerek has detect magic up still, it's just a nasty stream of enchantment.
Yep.
Is it enchantment or illusion? Oh yeah, Lark's slinging an enchantment on this guy.
Yep. And it seems to stick as this knight takes its sword out of the ground and just charges at the displacer beast and starts swinging and
oh shit
with its sword. At this point, you see the displacer beast begin to fight this thing as well, growling and yowling in confusion, and leaping over one of the balconies is another displacer beast that then begins to charge at this thing. It leaps onto its back and begins to claw at its face. A full-on brawl has broken out. At this point, you do see Arthur lean out over the balcony, around the second balcony, with a knife and begin to cut at one of the roses. I need him to make a survival check.
Oh, he's bad at these. Please. That's a 13.
All right. He begins to saw at this thing with a knife. And as he cuts it off, a few of the petals fall off of it, and he kind of looks around for a bit before ducking back and making his way back up to you guys.
Get it?
Well, are
As
we
it kind of
good?
charges up. Yes, I think, I hope. Where do I put this thing?
Here,
In the back.
throw it in the bag.
Just goes in the bag. How the fuck are we getting out of here?
You seem pretty entangled, so at the door. I'm just gonna turn around and go back across the bridge.
Yeah, they are pretty far down there, right? So we can
Yeah.
just go. Yeah,
Yeah, and
let's go.
they do seem pretty distracted. Yeah, you charge back into this big empty ballroom. Which way are you going?
The way we came.
How many people can you make fly, Rerek?
Let me see.
Percy can fly by himself now, so you only need to get. I guess we have Jasmine too.
I think it's one other person or a party.
You'd have to cast the spell several times, or I don't even think you
yeah.
can do that. Unless
Yeah, you have to
No,
maintain
Because fly is
concentration.
concentration.
I don't know if flying is gonna happen.
Can anybody carry Jasmine while they fly?
You can, because Jasmine, I believe Jasmine is actually considered large, isn't she?
Yeah, I don't think.
Oh, let me look at the
Unless
character.
there's
on
some
either
sort of funky thing
himself
going
or
on
Arthur.
with Arthur's mechanics, because it might change your size. Because if it is the same size as you or any category smaller, you can carry it, but you move at half speed.
Panthers are only medium beasts, so she is only medium. So anybody who's
So-
medium with a good strength score can carry the cat while we fly out of here.
Yeah.
Okay, so at level 3, I can cast it on one willing creature, and then if I use 4th level, it'd be 2.
So you could do yourself and Arthur, and then Percy can fly with his shoes. And Lark can already fly.
Can you cast it on other people?
Yeah, you can cast it on other people.
No, like Percy. Didn't Percy say he can use fly too?
No, I have shoes, so let me fly.
He has
Oh.
a magical
Shoes.
item.
I just get to fly because I'm a fairy. I can't give flight to anybody else.
Why can't I just make Jasmine fly and then Arthur just climb on her?
I don't think.
I mean,
Arthur
you could if you
ride
wanted
Jasmine,
to.
Can't she?
Yeah, I don't think you can use a creature that's the same size as you as a mount is the biggest problem with that plan.
That's true.
You have to be a size smaller. So I can use you guys or
Arthur
Jasmine.
and Percy can tag team carry Jasmine as we fly.
Oh. Wait, what did you say?
So are we doing the flying plan? We kind of have to decide it right now.
I just vote we fly, try to get to the edge of her domain before it breaks so that we can get through another barrier or whatever and sort it out from there, I guess.
Weren't we going to ride the ornithopter back down?
We go back over. I didn't secure us a lift back.
I thought
You
you
did
did.
not secure a lift back.
Well,
Oh, you could have pushed
Wording.
that.
As long as we have
word
fly.
your contracts.
I guess we're flying.
Okay, me and another. Who am I gonna make fly?
You and Arthur.
And you're carrying Jasmine, or the both of us? The 3 of us can carry her. Whatever. Okay.
This is
I'm
so
sure Arthur
weird.
will want to carry
Casting
Jasmine.
4th level fly. Jeez.
Yeah.
Bloop.
Percy
Yeah, so
puts his
you
shoes on and his little shoe wings
Wobbly.
start flapping.
Yeah. Yeah.
We
Oh.
run and then we go. Woo.
Yeah, so you all begin flying out. And since this building is pretty high up, you see a lot of this sort of domain and off into the distance, into the blue sky with various beautiful clouds. And you do begin to fly, and slowly the ground gets lower and lower and lower and lower as you continue flying. Is there any plan as to the location that you are going?
We got the flower, so
We have
start heading back to where we came in, right?
We just need to get to the edge of her domain so that we can pass through the gate and hopefully get closer to the ground when we pass through.
Okay, so just
And-
down is where we're going.
Can
Yes.
I use another fucking detect magic so I can see where the edge is?
I don't think you can.
Is detect magic concentration?
Yes.
Then you can't,
Oh, because I'm flying.
because you have to
Oh.
maintain fly.
Ah! Okay, let's just keep going.
Yeah, so you do fly, and I'm going to make a roll. As you are flying through the air, you do notice down below an increased amount of guard presence and sounds of sort of trumpets and whistles and stomping feet as there seem to be people beginning to run back and forth along the ground through the various gardens.
Okay. But like we're good though, right?
So far, you think it is. As you continue flying, the castle slowly begins to get farther and farther away. And then finally, you feel yourselves pass through a barrier.
Ah. Yes.
So I am going to need, let's just do it like this. The three of you roll me a d4 and tell me if the number is even or odd.
Oh boy.
Even.
Even.
Odd.
All right. As you pass through the barrier, the sky is now gray. As you begin to fly lower and lower towards the ground, you begin to see a very familiar pattern across the grass, the checkerboard pattern. And it seems as you fly lower and lower and lower, you are not on the edge of this domain. You are in the middle. There is Boardlands in all directions as you slowly begin to fly down and land in the grass.
Why are we here?
I mean, we didn't really know where we'd be landing. This is better than some alternatives, at least.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, so you are
Where are
currently
we
in the
going?
middle of this place. What would you like to do?
Should we get the hell out of here?
Sure how to do that now.
Well, I mean, we're in neutral ground at least, but who knows if they could track us here. We should probably do our best to... Damn.
What do you mean neutral?
Neutral territory. The Boardlands, neither of the major courts controls it. They don't swear fealty to either of the High Queens. Or there's no Archfey in charge that swears fealty to either one or plays between the courts.
Okay.
They're just themselves.
Good to know.
Yes. So less likely to kill me on sight, but also not exactly likely to help us in any manner if we ask for it.
Alrighty.
Well, we have the rose. We. Where to now?
I was gonna suggest to camp out here, but I ran out of spell slots to use my what was that magic? Private Sanctum.
I think Private Sanctum has to be in a given space. It's not Liamin's tiny hut.
It's not like a magic house that I
No,
make.
no. It basically makes a space unable to be viewed by divination magic and unable to be teleported into, essentially. I don't think you can
Yeah.
use it just in the open
It's
air.
like a basically like a
But it's not Liamon's tiny hut.
Different stuff. Well, I guess we just start walking.
Walking, flying. It would behoove us if we could find a shortcut into winter territory, because that'll be faster. Would I know if there's any way to like ET phone home while I'm on the actual plane? Just be like, hey, we did it. Pick
who
us
are
up,
we
Mom.
giving
Please.
who are we giving
Mom,
this to?
Mom, I'm at this party and I don't feel safe anymore. Can you come pick me up?
I mean, there's definitely various ways to do that. Of course, you're pretty sure that the Queen of Nightmares has eyes and ears everywhere. It's just finding where they are or making one.
Would anybody be up for a blood sacrifice, perhaps?
As long as it's your blood.
Oh, it's not going to be my blood, darling. Who do you think needs to do it?
I've already given you blood once. That's enough for a lifetime. So someone else is on blood duty.
You could do a blood sacrifice, so someone could a particularly tasty nightmare, perhaps. I don't know. Though whatever we do, we should figure it out quickly. Could I do like an Arcana check to see if I would know a way to like be like, yo, Ma, come on.
Ma.
Actually, I would say since you've been using these things quite a lot, the seeds of the flowers that you have, the bitter bloom flowers, you've used them as phones, almost essentially, as a direct ear to the queen herself.
Yeah, okay. So yeah, Lark's just gonna pull out a seed and be like, I might have our answer right here. And he's gonna plant one in a little bit of soil and cast Druidcraft.
Mm-hmm.
And just Druidcraft it enough to make it grow and bloom.
Yep. The very familiar flower sprouts out of the ground and blooms.
I feel like they probably, I don't know if we've ever described what they look like, but if they're all roses over in Gloriana's, maybe these are like the weirdest looking peonies you've ever seen. Or dahlias. I don't know. Something weird. Something gothy that's not a rose.
I was thinking something almost closer to like a thistle, except it curved, except the needles kind of curve and it's more flower-like.
Oh, that works too. Just be like, hello, is anyone on the other end of this plant? Hello? In Sylvan. Except not that informal. He's just gonna be like, yeah. Yeah. I'm just gonna do that. Like, can my lady, can you hear me? Or Granther? Anyone.
It takes a couple of seconds of silence, but then finally you do hear a voice come through. Lark, is that you? A very familiar voice of the queen.
My lady. So Arthur wanted to impress you, and we've already secured a rose.
Oh, so I assume you are here in our realm.
Yes, we appear to be in the middle of the Boardlands without any real way of knowing how to make it to a place more favorable to our cause.
Well, she is actually going to make a roll. Well, if my current maps are correct, at the moment, you will need to find your way to an edge near the Red Castle. There should be a way to get into the realm. Let me see what notes, because I picked very specific names. So if I could get to those real quick. You might be familiar with them. Their realm has come close to the Boardlands for quite some time. The Hag Coven of Gothel, Carabos, and Rosina Leckermall. Their realm should be close to the Red Castle. That would be in our territory. And then simply on the other side of that would be the Garden of Regret, which would be next to my castle. You are not far, but there may be many dangers in between. I don't exactly have access to the Boardlands, and there seems to be something blocking the way for unseelie court travel through the Hag's realms. But if you manage to make it through and make it to the Garden of Regret, you'll be in the clear, as the mortals might say.
Thank you, my queen, for the guidance. We've a way to know at least the best way to get there. We'll be on our way post haste before I believe Gloriana's forces started to suspect something was up towards the end of our little heist, so it'd probably behoove us to start moving as soon as we can.
Yes, I will certainly be sending as many agents as I can to ensure your safe passage. I'm unsure of which ones will make it, but perhaps, hopefully, you will be able to meet one.
Wonderful. I can only bask in your glory, my lady.
Yes, of course.
We will be there shortly, or as shortly as we can.
Of course. And at that point, the flower kind of grows, blooming more, and then withers away into ash and nothingness.
So back into common, Lark's going to be like, we need to get to the Red Castle. The border by the Red Castle will be bordering a hag den. I know, hags, we keep dealing with them. But on the other side of the hag's domain is my hometown, as it were.
All right. Actually, to get it going, I don't really want to see what those bees are up to.
Yes, probably for the best. It might sound almost counterproductive, but we might actually be almost safer taking a rest when we get to the hag's domain than we would be here. Well, it depends on how long it takes
we get there.
Yes.
So as you start walking through this domain with the various hedges and things of that nature, after a while, you hear a voice ring out across the field, surprisingly in common. Halt! What business do you have here? And you turn to see that there has been a couple of people that have noticed you. They seem to be knights in armor. One appears to be possibly close to 6.5 feet tall. The armor on all of them is stark white, almost as if it were not made out of metal, but out of marble. The tallest one has a very beautifully decorated horse head instead of a helmet, and carries what appears to be a very beautifully crafted, but also white hobby horse with a huge head on the end that's probably used as some kind of battle mace. The others appear to be much shorter, probably around 5'5", 5'6", also dressed in white armor, carrying spears. And they seem to have their heads wrapped in a very large, almost perfectly spherical turban that covers their eyes, but leaves their noses and mouths uncovered, and they are all identical. And the one that is shouting at you is the one with the horse head that has the very large weapon hefted over his shoulder and is pointing 2 fingers in your general direction.
Lark, you guys don't care if Lark takes point, right?
Go for it.
Oh, us, darling. We're just doing a little bit of sightseeing. We kind of stumbled into the middle of the Boardlands. Don't you hate that when you're just trying to travel between domains and things shift and move and no map is 100% accurate? We're just passing through. We're no harm to you right now, dear.
What business do you have elsewhere? Why are you passing through here?
Oh, you know how it is in the Feywild, a delivery here, a little bit of sightseeing there. We were just helping out those sweet, adorable little pumpkin heads and applins over in the Autumn Court. Actually, have you seen, and Lark's gonna like motion to be like the Harlequin thing. Have you seen anyone pass through here wearing this? The monster slaughtered the poor great pumpkin.
When you pull out the little Harlequin thing, the knight shifts and pulls out. You are not affiliated with that monster, are you?
Oh,
We are
hunting.
authorized to use deadly force in the absence of the white and red queen.
We're hunting them, darling. Who is it?
We simply know that he is an enemy of the crown, both crowns, and he is here. We have closed off the domain until the missing queens have returned. And we are authorized to use deadly force against anyone we view as a threat.
Oh, darling, we're no threat to you, but whoever this was, destroyed the great pumpkin and stole away into your domain.
We are fully aware of his presence. We are currently hunting him as we speak. However, clues have been scarce.
And you're telling me that the borders between domains are currently sealed as it is, roughly?
Yes. No one can leave.
Oh, but we can enter. Fantastic. Well, boys, what do you say we join a manhunt?
So this creature took your queen.
That seems to be what the evidence is pointed to.
All right. Well, then, we will humbly aid you in your search for the Harlequin. Why does it have to be so hard?
And at this point, the knight kind of hefts his mace back up onto his shoulder. Good. We will send word to the castle of the White Queen that you are aiding us in our search. Report in 24 hours, or we will hunt you down as well. Good luck. And he turns and begins to march on with the group. You're muted.
Couldn't we just have gone with them? What happened? What just happened?
Go there. And I guess we'll start walking. I'll be like, Lark, why is it that I genuinely, the Shadowfell was much kinder than it is here.
Kinder. The Shadowfell was full of
100%.
The Shadowfell was full of depressing lost souls selling themselves into devilhood, and people occasionally passing on to an afterlife, and some strange trickery involving a little bit of fey magic in the Shadowfell trapping portions of souls. Don't say that it's kinder. I mean, the Feywild's also not a kind place.
The most nefarious thing that we saw in the Shadowfell, the trapping of the souls, was from the Fey, not the Shadowfell. So
was it? Or was it that carnival that we all laughed at those souls getting turned into imps at? I think that would be a little more nefarious from my perspective.
Well, we're having a much harder time here than we did there.
You know, Lark's gonna float over and do like a little cheek pat and be like, "You're starting to get that it's not all innocent here. Finally, I thought those applins and pumpkin heads were going to convince you otherwise, but no. There's a kidnapping, murderous clown afoot that we apparently have now got to find in order to leave this place."
It's only a little less kind here because there is order here and it's being shook. And so people are in.
To be
There was
fair, we've
more order
already
in the Shadowfell.
Lord. Over there's no order there. It's just depression.
to be fair, we've
Organized
made it.
depression.
We've made it very, compared to what I thought might have happened, we've made it further with less difficulties.
We
I
haven't
mean-
fought anybody. We haven't rolled initiative yet.
I mean, whoever they had guarding those flowers was far more susceptible to my tricks than I thought they'd be.
Well, let's hope the clown is too.
Oh, geez.
Wait, we have a piece of the clown's cloth, correct?
Yes.
And if Jasmine can't get a scent off of it, Rerek, you're particularly talented at finding things with your divinations, right?
Mhm.
Can't you find the rest of this with some spell, like a magical scent dog?
Let me see.
Or are you out of the... I mean, we have 24 hours to report, so we may be able to squeeze in a bit of a rest. And if anything...
I can locate creatures.
I can
Well.
okay, it says here, alternatively, the spell can locate nearest object of a particular kind,
But it
such
is
as a
the one
certain
that-
kind of apparel. So if it is a Harlequin apparel looking thing, I can use locate object.
Yeah, so Lark's just going to recommend that, but he's also like, if we
But-
want to take a rest, this may actually be a beneficial time to get one done, because things can get in, but they can't get out. And the
Yeah.
Boardland people are up in arms currently, which actually behooves us because they're just as liable to attack the Sealy Court if they decide to stick their noses here as they are us.
Yeah, if we do a rest, I can do at least more or less 3,000 feet of diameter. That is if we're not moving.
So like above game, like do you guys want to maybe try to take a rest before we go to the White Castle? Or go to White Castle? White Castle. Let's go get some burgers.
Let's go.
Um,
Let's go to White Castle.
I'm not high enough to want to eat white.
Yeah, I
Castle.
guess let's just get to the castle and then take a rest and go. So we have 24 hours to get there. So
Yeah.
To get there and then rest.
Okay.
Yeah, so it is a bit of a way as you begin to walk across this repeating pattern with the various topiaries and statuaries and things of that nature. You do notice a bit of an oddity. There is a copse of trees just off of one of the paths. It's rather large and it sticks out almost like a sore thumb, but it isn't shaped like a chess piece. It doesn't seem to have any of the hallmarks of a chessboard of any kind. It just is there.
This looks suspicious.
Should we check it out?
I mean, it could save us time tomorrow if we do.
Okay. Let's set inside.
So you head into this copse of trees. And surprisingly, it is bigger on the inside than it is on the outside. You begin to walk and it's quite a ways inside. The light has vanished from the outside as it continues to shrink and shrink and shrink. You can still see, but it is very dark. Yes,
Dark
you all have
vision.
dark
Put
vision, which is
my
why you can
goggles
still
on.
see. Yeah, you do pull down your goggles. But soon you see a bright light shining out from between the trees. And as you get closer, you see it is a clearing, in the center of which stands a very large tree. The sunlight seems to be blazing out from inside of it, tinting the leaves a almost gold. The leaves themselves are a very rich green and almost look like they have a little bit of gold leaf on it, but it's mostly been scrubbed away and they glitter. It's also a pear tree. These beautiful succulent pears that are glowing ever so slightly are hanging from this tree. And at the moment, that's all that you see.
Can I history check to see if I know about glowing magical pear tree copses anywhere?
Yeah, you can make me a history check.
Like, was this in boot camp at all?
Maybe, maybe not. Who knows?
18.
Oh. You may not know the specific Archfey that rules over, but sometimes domains aren't very large or can fit into significantly smaller spaces. So it isn't uncommon to sometimes have Archfey domains inside of other Archfey domains. Whether or not they have to follow the rules of said domain, who knows? But it's possible that whatever this is, this pear tree, is its own domain, which has its own ruler, and is just sitting here inside the Boardlands.
Woo! Lark's just gonna be like, oh, well, we appear to have stumbled into a different Archfey domain. Isn't this charming, everyone?
Different one? So wait, but we couldn't leave the last one, but now we're in a different. How does this work?
Well, some of them are smaller and some of them are bigger, and not all Archfey are made equally, and some of them can literally just nest up put a little portal to a tiny domain in a larger domain, which appears to be what we've stumbled through. Hello? Lark's gonna cautiously call out in Sylvan.
There is a rustle in the leaves as coming out onto one of the branches is a very large partridge with a beautiful vest on. You got it. As he sort of sidles
It's
out onto the
April.
branch and kind of glares down and just, what?
Does he say it in Common or Sylvan?
In Sylvan.
Oh, apologies for intruding, I suppose. We were told we wouldn't even be able to pass through domains, but we appear to have stumbled into. Are you the lord of this place, lord or lady?
Obviously.
Jesus Christ.
What can I call you, good kind one?
You can call me Botticelli.
Botticelli. How such a beautiful name. Lord Botticelli, Lady Botticelli, Master Botticelli, any particular title you prefer to be called with?
Lord is fine.
Lord Botticelli. It's a beautiful domain you have here. The pear tree is stunning.
Yes, thank you. So what do you want?
I don't suppose that you've happened to have seen some horrible little clown person move through here?
Or are you talking about the Harlequin? Yeah, that asshole.
Yes. Oh, you darling, we're searching for them. Apparently, whoever this Harlequin is, they've pissed off Fall and the Boardlands at the same time, and you.
Well, He's more of a nuisance than anything. All I know is he's here and he has a magic carousel. That's all I know. I have eyes and ears everywhere.
You have eyes and ears everywhere?
I'm the partridge in the pear tree. Do you think I don't have ears everywhere?
Fair enough. Who knows how many little birdies you have that can tell you what you need to know. I'll relate back to the party and be like, this is Lord Botticelli, the partridge in the pear tree, and apparently the Harlequin is a nuisance to him, and he's somewhere around here with a creepy carousel.
Oh.
Awesome.
Wonderful to meet you, Lord Botticelli.
It certainly is. And he says this in common.
Right.
I love your accent.
So, Lord Botticelli, we are currently helping the Boardland folk find the Harlequin because he appears to have kidnapped, or he or she, whoever it is, appears to have kidnapped their queens, and they've sealed the borders to the other domains around them. I don't suppose you could point us in the direction that the Harlequin is, because apparently they're also trapped here. You said he. It's a he, right?
Yes.
He's
Yep.
trapped here with the rest of us. I don't suppose you could offer us a little help if he's a nuisance to you.
I'll keep an eye out, but he probably is hiding in his own little domain, whatever shithole that is, with his magic carousel. But he certainly wants to cause as much trouble as he can. So he's probably out roaming around. But who knows?
I mean, you can admire someone for their game sometimes, I suppose, but making that big of a nuisance of himself. But he's powerful enough to have his own small domain? That could be tricky for us. Lark will look at the other guys. Why would he bother kidnapping the queens and destroying the Great Pumpkin, though?
Who knows? He's an asshole.
I thank you for your help, Lord Botticelli. As payment, please, I can only offer you. He's gonna hold out one of the great pumpkin seeds he has left. Will this suffice?
5.
Sure, just leave it at the bottom of the tree.
Oh, thank you. Do anyone else have any questions for Lord Botticelli, the partridge in the pear tree?
No.
Well, it's been a pleasure.
Well, I certainly hope so.
Lord Botticelli, does the Harlequin, does he favor either of the high courts, or is he literally just a force of chaos?
He probably prefers the unseelie court, but he mostly is just an agent of chaos.
Splendid. Okay. Well, thank you for your aid. And I suppose we shall be going.
Yes, I have a lot of business to attend to. And you've taken up enough of my time. I thank you for the pumpkin seed, but I have to kindly ask that you fuck off. And he just shuffles back into the tree.
Okay.
Well, that was neat. Well, we know at least how the Harlequin's evading the basic troops, at least.
At least we know where north is in this area.
Right. Well, we still have to report in at the White Castle.
Yes, but we have to report at the White Castle within a day and possibly get some rest between now and then. And then we have to hunt for a rogue fae strong enough to make their own small domain. Wonderful.
Okay.
Toodles.
Fuck off.
Oh my god.
Let's leave this pear tree partridge situation behind. Out the way we came in?
Sure.
Oh yeah.
Surprisingly, you do, as you walk back the path, end up right where you came in as you pop out back into the Boardlands. And of course, it's still a little bit alarming to turn around and be able to see the edge of this copse of trees when you definitely couldn't when you walked in.
Okay. Well, are we going to the White Castle and then resting, or are we resting and then going to the White Castle?
We can rest there.
Let's rest at the White Castle while we get our burgers.
Yeah, so
Like I
surprisingly,
said.
the White Castle isn't that far away from Botticelli's domain. And you make it to the moat around this very large castle, which, of course, is entirely made out of chess pieces. You see various forces marching this way and that way, and the drawbridge begins to come down as another platoon seems to march out of more of these chess pieces, begin to march out. But it seems the way has been opened and you can enter the castle.
Cool. Well, boys, we can go in the castle. We're early as it is.
Look for a place to rest.
And get a little rest and then go clown hunting.
Locate the hell out of this clown.
So as you enter, another one of the knights, as you assume, due to the headpiece, comes up, and it seems they all have very similar voices and very similar demeanors, as he just bellows, "You must be the adventuring party. I've been informed of your presence. Are you reporting?"
Yes, we're reporting to help in the clown hunt, as it were. Were you aware that the Harlequin may be hiding in his own little domain within the Boardlands?
That would explain quite a bit. I will relay this information to our commanders.
Yes, the partridge in the pear tree passed along the information.
Ah, we do not mess with the partridge in the pear tree.
Oh, I found him perfectly pleasant.
We found him incredibly unpleasant.
Perfectly pleasant, if a bit prickly, one might say.
Well, if you have any other information, I will certainly be taking it. If not, I will guide you to your quarters.
Oh, quarters, darling. Look at my poor little friend. Motions to Rerek. He's all tuckered out. It's very taxing for someone that tall to walk a lot of places. I don't really know what it's
As
like.
his
to walk
head
much.
turns to look at Rerek, like directly almost eye level, and just turns back to you. If you have any information, I will take it, and then I will take you to your quarters.
Sorry, that made me laugh so hard.
The partridge also said something about a magic carousel
Oh, yes. Yeah,
the Harlequin was using for something.
yes. The Harlequin's carousel may be the root of his domain and how he's hiding. So
Most likely, I will pass on this information to our commanders.
Yeah, very brisk. I must appreciate it for now. Keep an ear out for some creepy calliope music. Maybe that'll help you find him. And obviously, once we get a little rest, we can hop in and help out ourselves.
Of course. This way. And he marches along. And this place is a bit of a maze. All the walls are white. The doors are white. The windows are white. Everything is white. He takes you to a door and opens it. Here are your quarters. It's just a white room.
Ah,
Cozy.
thank you.
And he
I
just
pull out a couple
marches
of
away.
books. Pull out a couple of books and make pillows out of them, and then I just go. Good night.
Good night, Rerek.
Yeah, there's literally nothing in this room.
Just make ourselves as comfy as possible.
Who am I going to use as a body pillow?
Jasmine.
I mean, she hasn't tried eating me in a hot minute, so that could be helpful.
Whatever, let's just go to sleep so we can get the fuck out of here and find an actual bed.
That would be nice.
Arthur says,
Yeah.
piping up.
Sleep.
So you do end up laying down, and sleep eventually comes. It's cold in the room, not chilly, but a significant drop in temperature. You are sleeping on a marble floor, surrounded by marble walls and a marble ceiling, and a window that does let in light. There does seem to be a day-night cycle in this domain. You know that you, Lark, would obviously know that there are some domains that do not have this. They remain stuck in whatever time the Archfey commands it, whether it is a season or a year or a time span of some kind. It seems that this place does have a semi-regular day-night cycle, probably close to the material planes. And you do begin to drift off to sleep. Of course, Percy, sleep comes a little bit harder to you with all of the voices in your head speaking in a strange tongue that you don't quite understand. But it seems that one voice seems to come forward and begin to speak in common. Hello, child. Do not be afraid. I have been here for quite some time. It seems we may be more compatible than others.
What? What is it? Who are you?
I am Fecker, Queen of Poxes and Diseases. I have come to make a deal with you, to lend you my powers.
What? What do you want?
Just simply as much fealty as you can give me. Your devotion to this curer of plagues is admirable, but do you not want more power over them? Not just to take them away, but to give them to those that are deserving? I can do this. Watch. And your hand begins to itch and burn as boils break out on it. Your fingers begin to necrotize. Black veins begin to spread up your arm, and there is shooting pain. See what power I can give to you. And then it's gone.
Are you one of those aberrations my family locked away? Are you a fairy? We're in the Feywild. Are you like some? Are you just invisible around here somewhere?
I am in here with all of my other brothers and sisters. You have met one, Ibar. You slew him.
Oh no, I was thinking of a friend for a second, but no. Okay, I remember Ibar. I was you want me to release you? I'm not going to release you. I've told all of you already. I'm not releasing any of you.
We can grant you so much. But I believe that I am the best candidate. The others cannot offer you the same.
Why not?
Their domains are different. Itchok, the violet flame, simply wants to burn the world to the ground. The hungering hand simply wants to eat. The hound of the purple star, he will give you hounds, but what use is that to you? When you can give and take. You know these. You know what I rule over. Would it not give you exactly what you want? To cure and to curse?
I've never said I wanted to curse. You're just like the rest of those, aren't you? You're the queen of poxes. You want to what? Reduce the population of the world to a disease-ridden mess? What dreams do you have?
I simply want to care for my children. They're dying.
Who are your children?
The red plague, the blue horror, the black
These
death.
just like diseases that
Yes.
Percy knows.
Yes, there are various diseases. The yellow fever. My children are dying. I must care for them. I am their mother.
They're dying because doctors like myself have been fighting them for quite a few years.
Who says you need to fight? Who says that you have to fight them when you can have power over them? This way you won't hurt my babies. You can simply tell them to leave, and they will. But they need food. They need homes. They're starving and cold. Please.
You're cold. You're cold. They're cold. And wait, Saint Hypatia is like the plague killer, right? Like,
Basically, not in the sense of like, I wield a sword, but like she
yeah.
uses knowledge to combat ills and diseases that end people's lives prematurely.
Okay. What sort of fealty do you require?
Any fealty I ask. Any that you are not giving to your plague curer.
Yeah, hot second here. Percy gets his powers from Saint Hypatia.
Yes.
So, like, would this not piss off Saint Hypatia?
Probably. Who knows?
Obviously.
Very torn. I don't know what to say. Okay, being able to command plagues to leave is good, and I think Saint Hypatia might smile upon that skill. But I'm hesitant to offer you loyalty. My loyalty is already pledged to somebody else.
Fine. As disappointing as that is, I guess I will have to wait longer to be free with my children. Perhaps I won't have to wait long. Your blood will be your own downfall. And the voice recedes, but at that point, you feel on your ribs a burning, a horrible, horrible burning. And as you pull your shirt aside, you see a familiar symbol from your research, a spiral where the line waves back and forth, undulating and covered in thorns. The symbol of Therisdun burned into your flesh.
Oh.
And that is where we're going to end today's episode. So come back next week where we figure out what the hell is going on here in the Feywild, as well as what the hell is going on back home. So I will see you all next week.